ให้คุณลองจินตนาการดูเหมือนเวลาที่เราคุยโทรศัพท์มันก็เหมือนกับที่ลำไส้กับสมองของเราเนี่ยมันก็คุยโทรศัพท์กันเหมือนกัน
So I was renting out this 95 properties at 30 per day
ผมก็เลยปล่อยเช่าราคา 4-50 ต่อให้ต่อวัน
A lot of people, when we talk about interpreter, they will think that is the job translating from one language to another. But I would like to say that actually being a good interpreter is way more than just translating the language because we are transferring the message from one person to a lot of others, which means that when we talk about language or message, it includes the language that they speak, the context, the content, the emotions and all the feelings and the culture of the message. So we have to really understand what one person is trying to say and also understand the audience culture, the way that they would interpret the message and transfer that to the audience correctly. When we talk about the type of interpretation, it is actually divided into two main types. The first type is simultaneous interpretation. And for simultaneous interpretation, we call for short SI. For SI is basically when one person is dubbing another, so the speaker and the interpreter would speak simultaneously. However, the listeners will be listening through different channels. So some people will be listening to the floor, and the floor means listen to the speaker. And some people will be listening to the interpretation channel, which they can choose the language. They can choose whichever channel that they would like to listen to. But these two sounds will go out simultaneously.
อยากจะส่งข้อความอยากพูดคุยอะไรกับเขาคือมีฟีเจอร์เพียบเลยค่ะในแพลตฟอร์มของเรานี้ที่จะทำให้คุณสามารถสื่อสารกับลูกค้าของคุณได้อยู่ตลอดเวลา
And the second type is consecutive interpretation. This means that the speaker and the interpreter takes turn speaking, and we call for short CI.
And as long as you persist in learning every day and then practicing what you learn every day, nothing can stop you.
ตราบใดก็ตามที่คุณยืนหยัดที่จะเรียนรู้ทักษะใหม่ฝึกฝนฝึกปรนมันทุกวันคุณก็จะไปถึงความสำเร็จแน่นอน
Being an interpreter, you cannot only have the language skill, but you also need many other skills, which means you have to have knowledge in different fields. For example, if you are interpreting law, you have to have some legal knowledge. You have to also have the interpersonal skill because interpretation basically is communication skill. So you have to have the people skill, you have to know how to communicate, you have to have great listening skill because it is very important that a lot of people, they only hear the message. But for us, we have to listen and really get into the heart of the speaker. And that is really two different things. Actually, I like languages since I was young, and I have competed in so many language competition in Thailand. When I was in 9th grade, I have won the National IQ World Cup Championship. And after that, I got a scholarship to study high school in the States. So I finished high school in the States. And once I came back, I studied at Mahidol University International College, majoring in tourism and hospitality management with a minor in Chinese. And that's how I also continue studying languages and practicing my language skills. I always like seminar business. I have attended many seminars both in university and outside university. And there is this one seminar when I was in 4th year of college that I attended. It was an international seminar with like 3,000 people and a lot of international people, and I get to see that there are some people interpreting in the booth, and I thought it was so cool. So I went to talk to them and they say, yeah, you can do it if you can interpret and delay less than 3 seconds from what the speaker says. And that is what inspired me. Studying at MUIC allowed me to first meet many new people, and that includes the teachers and the classmates. At MUIC, we have international atmosphere, so all the teachers, all the classmates, they are of different ages, different races. So you are familiar with different accents and you also get many new perspectives. Secondly, all the knowledge that MUIC gives you is the updated knowledge. You will not only learn from the textbooks, but you will also get to hear from the guest speakers, from the experiences of real life work that the teachers would share with you. And this gives you the interpersonal skill, and it also gives you the way of how you can solve problems if you actually face it. Being an interpreter, you get to develop your listening skills, how to really actively listen, how to be attentive to what others are saying. You have to be really fast learner because a lot of times you are interpreting life. So you have to listen and learn immediately what that person is saying and be able to convey it. And another thing that is very important is on your emotional intelligence. Being an interpreter, because it is in event industry, you have to be responsible for whatever work that you have taken on, which means that even if you're sick, even if that day you're sad, even if that day something bad happens, you have to be there. You have to show up and keep the show goes on. You help communication. You help connect people all around the world together. Because being an interpreter, you help lower the language barriers. So people who originally they cannot communicate with each other, you are the one who enable their communication. We create breakthroughs. You get to see people laugh, people cry because of what you're voicing over, and that is really empowering.